Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's topic of the video is how to make your own notes in pharmacy. So many a times when we come across the subjects like pharmacology, medicinal chemistry, biochemistry, farm analysis and etc, there are around 36 subjects in pharmacy. It is practically difficult for us to refer so many reference books, so many articles, so many different SlideShare PPTs for so many different subjects. So it's better that we have a compact, a one book, a one review, a one proper compilation of all these notes that will actually help us in competitive exams, and along with that it will also aid in our GPAT preparations. So yeah, there are a few ways and strategies in which you can actually make your own notes. As whenever we enter in pharmacy, it's very essential that we get acquainted of the habit of practicing and writing. So the first thing that we need to remember is emphasizing only on important points. That is, it is very vital to incorporate only important points from the book. So as you can see, this is the image from K.D. Tripathi for pharmacology, and this is the classification of diuretics that are used for and as antihypertensives mainly. And you can see there's a lot of data regarding the mechanism of action, the pharmacokinetics, the pharmacodynamics. But if we write all this data, it will consume a lot of time. Also, secondly, it's not actually essential to remember so much of data. If you write the particular, if you know that furosemide, it is a loop diuretic, so it blocks sodium potassium to chlorine symporter. So we know that how what is the mechanism of action. It's just a one or two liner action, but it's written in a really lengthy way. So you can just shorten this data and just add a few points of pharmacokinetics, ADR, side effects, dose, etc. So it will help you minimize your data, and plus it will keep only on highlighted points, and also it will save your time. Next, we need to remember is referring the books, videos, and PPTs for the notes. Like suppose if there are any mnemonics, any particular flow chart or something, then we need to write that so that we remember it. Also, if we write simply so much of side effects, so we need to only write those side effects, those areas that are important. Like for example, the CHIC for thiazide diuretics, CHF that is congestive heart failure, hypertension, diabetes insipidus, and calcium calculitis that is calcium stones. So these are the problems, or the you can say that the side effects or the ADR of thiazide indications. So similarly, we can just make few mnemonics like these, so that we can it's a little compact to study, and it's actually beneficial. But while referring, we need to see that we refer 2 3 books, because in one book all the data might not be available. So if we compile 2 3 books ka data in one particular copy, it would be useful for us. It also, for better knowledge, we can use some data, some PPTs, from PPTs, SlideShare, YouTube channels. So because sometimes they have better mnemonics, better flowcharts, or a better way of explanation. So we can definitely rely on that. We need to simplify the language and modify. Like for example, classifying the antibiotics. See, this is the classification of antibiotics, but if we don't know the mechanism, what is the use of the classification? So why not we just write the classification and mechanism of action in one particular diagram only, like in this one. You can see this is a image adopted from Google. So here you can see that there are few agents, antibiotics, that are inhibiting the cell wall synthesis, mainly the transpeptidase enzyme, which is useful for cross-linking. And these are the drugs: beta-lactam antibiotics, vancomycin. Then there are drugs that are acting on cell membrane, mainly the antifungal drugs. So with this, we can also cover the classification and mechanism of action simultaneously. But if you go to see, you'll only cover the classification. Mechanism, you have to refer alag se. So see to it that you compile, you fuse two things, two data in one particular format only. Next, and the last and the most important thing is minimizing the content. Only refer important points. Like for example, if we choose a drug, there are almost more than 100 200 drugs in pharmacology, medicinal chemistry, that you need to remember. But is it actually essential to remember all side effects, all ADR, or PK, PD? No, it's not. So just see to it that you jot down onset of action, peak plasma, protein binding, half-life, and the bioavailability. So in this way, see the how compact, how small the data is, and how appealing it's to eyes. Matlab, quickly you can just go through it and see that intramuscular, what is the onset of action, what is the plasma level, what is the protein binding. So it would be easier for us to remember the drugs and also remember many number of drugs and much more data that is important rather than just mugging up and just cramming up an entire data. So that's all for today's video. I hope it helped you to make your own notes. It helped you to get few tips. And if you have any doubts, you can just drop in the comment section. I would feel obliged to answer those questions. Thank you so much everyone for watching the video.